Hello, everyone. This is Will.
This is Alex.
Welcome back to another episode of They Mostly Come Out at Night.
Whoa, mostly. Whoa.
Oh.
That's how I feel right now.
Same.
Oh, God.
So yeah, we have a new intro to the podcast. No, I'm just kidding.
Resurrecting old memes.
Oh man, this is so weird because we were talking about like weird movies before we watched this movie.
And we got it.
Like, we were talking about how people think they know like weird movies, like when they're talking about like, oh yeah, like you don't know, man, like I've watched like weird movies, like I've seen weird,
I watched Guardians of the
like,
Galaxy.
it's so weird, and like they
There's a
make fun of
talking
rocket
raccoon.
and like the prison that like has no gravity. It's so weird. And like I
Bitch,
like weird movies. No,
Look at this podcast.
don't come even talk to me.
Look at this podcast.
Okay, watch some of the movies we've watched on this, and then come talk to me about weird ass movies.
We watched a movie where a man gets betrayed by his homies and ends up on an island with a fucking Japanese soldier who teaches him the art of the samurai.
Dude, last time, literally last episode, we watched a movie called The Boogans,
About a
where
fucking
it's
spider
a
thing.
spider worm thing that like kills people in a cave.
And there's a dog actor.
Like a great dog
Yeah.
actor, like 10 out of 10 Oscar worthy.
And now we got The Pit.
Boy, this is a weird movie.
Another one courtesy of Canada.
Boy, this is some bizarro world shit.
This is some weird shit.
It's like if you took a Sam Raimi movie and just gave him more coke, like just fucking like just yeeted this into fucking like the Twilight Zone, like Sam Raimi just times a billion.
that and like put a little fucking Leave It to Beaver in there.
Yeah, like
And-
like 50s, early 50s sitcom.
And there you go.
It's
Movie.
This is an odd one, folks. Not even gonna lie to you. This is really, really fucking weird.
It is weird, and it does
Does that mean it's bad?
No. It does sustain itself until it's like the Blues Brothers, the Bluesmobile. It gets to the Daily Plaza and it just falls apart.
I mean,
And that's kind of how this movie goes.
that's kind of a perfect way to describe it because it arrives at its destination and then just completely fucking like just all over like I don't even like the ending makes no fucking sense to me
It's
whatsoever.
like they just didn't
They-
know.
They just didn't know how to end it, so they're just like, okay, this happens.
Oh, fuck it.
Like we'll get there, but like my god, like it just fucking okay, here we go.
Yeah, it's just I don't know what the fuck that was all about, but okay.
We'll also get to why we sung the Trollolo song later.
Yeah, there's a word we have to hear a lot in this movie.
Yes, it's basically a reference to what the monsters are called.
Scientific.
Yes. So just so you know, yeah, let's
It's
just.
gonna be a bit of a rambler, but essentially,
So the plot of the movie is just a psychotic, really like
horny kid.
horny kid is like trying to figure out life while going through puberty.
And everyone in this town is
They're
dick.
all like really like mean to him for some reason.
he's kind of
he's an odd
he's a loner.
He's a loner. He's kind of odd. He's kind of pervy, like,
Oh, he's
but I mean, he's not like at this moment. He's not hurting anyone. Like
No.
he doesn't actually hurt anyone. He's just really creepy, and he's just like a creepy kid.
and yeah, it's just like, and he also has a teddy bear that he calls Teddy that he talks to, and it's like,
And it talks back to him, but you can tell because it's in his same voice, but in a different tone, and you can tell it's just like him talking to himself, basically,
yeah,
like an imaginary friend. But
yeah, and he finds a pit in the woods, and in the pit there's
When you could say it's the Teddy's an allegory because he's all alone, no one likes him, and then he has to.
It's his subconscious.
Yeah, he has to talk to his only friend, which is his Teddy, which is himself.
Which that movie alone, like that's a movie, right?
Yeah.
Weird kid going through puberty. He has a crush on his babysitter, and there's a teddy bear that he talks to, but it's actually his like subconscious.
And then at one point, the teddy bear tells him to kill people. Like
that's a movie, right?
Yeah.
But in 1981, when a bunch of maple syrup people made this movie, that wasn't enough.
There wasn't just maple syrup in that maple syrup.
Oh, they put some fucking maple syrup in their vodka and their fucking
man, maybe some more stuff. Maybe they
whiskey.
Maybe they took like a fucking speedball and then made this movie.
And they put a little maple syrup in there. But yeah, when they made this movie, they're like, "That's not enough."
Of course they.
Fuck you.
Of course they have to flavor it with maple syrup. I mean, it's Canada.
Well, they also flavor the movie with some fucking monsters in a pit. It's some trollogites. What?
Oh, it's trollologs. Yeah. I can't make this. It literally, the monsters, the creatures in this movie are named trollologs.
And they need food, so people die. That's the movie.
Yeah, so it's just a kid trying to figure out, like, at the start he's trying to figure out what to feed these things while dealing with a bunch of fucking hormones and crazy shit happening. And then he figures out that these trollologs like eating humans.
Yes.
Because he feeds them raw meat and they love it. And then
he doesn't have money anymore.
He doesn't have any money, so he's like, okay, well, I'm just going to start killing only bad people.
Because his teddy bear is like, you know what to do. And he's like, yeah, I do. And he's like, but only bad people.
Yeah, so he kills like I don't know, we'll get to the deaths, but he kills like a bunch of people, and then they just go fucking off the rails at the end.
There's no idea what to do.
Yeah, they yeet themselves off the fucking planet.
The movie has no idea what to do after that.
So anyway, we should talk about like, so they have this like babysitter that they hire because the parents are going out of town,
and we know that like, because he already like, we see like a scene where his teacher makes him write on like a board, like I will not bring adult books to class.
Yeah, and he like
brings like a book of like, it's like an art book, but you know, semi-naked women in it.
No, it because she like goes through the book and sees one of them as like a clipping is taken out. Was it him?
It was him.
He
because he uses it to troll.
He pasted like so there's a little girl that like makes fun of him all the time.
She is like comically mean.
She's an asshole.
She is comically mean. But her mom is like the librarian, and it's her face
on this naked body.
Pasted on the naked body, and like gave her like a letter of like, oh, haha, this is you. But yeah, he has to write on the board like, I will not bring adult books to class. In the meantime, his parents are hiring a babysitter, and we know that there's been other babysitters, and they just can't fucking handle him. So they have this one, and she's like, oh, I'm good with like problem children.
The hormones are too strong with this kid.
Well, they're strong as soon as he fucking meets her, because he's in love. He's deeply in love with his new babysitter.
And you don't have to wait long before he actually confesses his love.
Not long, but he tells his teddy bear, like, she's different. She's not like the others.
I'm going to tell her the secret, and the teddy's like, be careful. Be very, very careful.
Be careful, like, because... No, you know, because if you're, like, 11 years old and you tell your fucking babysitter that you love her, it's...
Well, also, the problem is if you tell your babysitter that there's a fucking pit in the forest that has a bunch of trollologs or trolls or whatever.
Because, like, he tells her, and
that,
she,
like, eat like, shit.
Keep a secret.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to tell you a secret. And he tells her, and then she thinks it's, like, him being fucking a kid. Crazy kid. Well, she is crazy.
Well, like, he does, like, weird stuff with her. So, like, the first time they meet at, like, the dinner table, he, like, goes under the table to look at her.
Look up her skirt.
Yeah, look up her skirt. And then another time he, like, looks at her sleeping.
And she's, like, her
breast is exposed.
Her breast is exposed.
And, like, he's, like, staring at her, and she gets all freaked out. I mean, if I was the babysitter, this is the moment I would have fucking left. I would have been like, you know what? I'm fucking done. Your fucking son's a creep.
He also asked her, like, Do you have a boyfriend?
Well, he also like goes in the shower, writes "I love you" on the mirror.
In her lipstick.
She gets all fucking freaked out.
But, he finds out she has he's not a boyfriend, but it's like a guy she's, seeing. And they go to a football game of his.
I love this scene. It's so great because
he's like, they're like scoring points and she's like happy and the kid's just there fucking stewing.
Alex, it's not just him scoring points. Anytime he gets even like a little bit of footage, like anytime the team starts doing good, he's fucking pissed.
He's not happy.
He like throws his fucking popcorn on the ground. It's
great.
He gets so mad.
It's great.
Cause he's like the third wheel in this bitch.
He's the full-on third wheel, and
the guy's like kind of like trying to be nice to him. He's like, "Oh, maybe I can teach you how to play football." And he's like, "I'm not interested."
And then he just watches them make out angrily.
He gets all fucking mad. Oh god, he gets so mad. So then at a certain point we figure out that he's stealing money from this woman, the babysitter, because he's trying to fund the meat for the.
We do get an amusing scene where because like she's like washing him because he's like, "Will you please like wash me?"
This is where he confesses his love to her.
And he says something weird. He's like, "Wow," he's like.
He says something like, okay, so he says basically, he's like, so what if, like, he basically asks her if there's like a problem with like age differences.
Well, no,
and if someone grows up, could that love still be there?
He's like, I'll grow up. It's not a big deal. And she's just like by the time you grow up, like you won't even remember me.
You'll forget all about
You'll
me.
have a girl. It's fine. And then there's like a weird thing where like while she's washing him, he's like, my mom washes me all the time.
Yeah, what was weird. That?
Do you think she thinks I'm dirty? Like, do you think I'm dirty?
Like, were they trying to imply that the mom like
knows?
No, yeah, like, or like cleans the kid a lot. Like, like something dark.
Yeah.
Is going on.
Because even when he says it, she's like, "Wait, your mom like washes you all the time?" Like,
yeah, but they never go back to this. Like, so it's never implied again that the mom could be like creepy too. Like, flavor. Obviously you're assuming something happened. You can assume something happened because this kid is pretty
weird.
Fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, he does some fucked up shit.
Yeah.
And some stuff that's not like considered normal by any stretch of the imagination, and he's kind of like really creepy and doesn't understand like basic human like behavior.
Yeah,
because he thinks everything he's doing is like okay,
it's totally normal,
but it's actually not.
And there's like, but in that scene,
but then again, everyone in this movie no one's normal.
No, the
babysitter is like the only like even remotely normal person.
Everything is slightly off. But in this scene also, like, he mentions, like, his trolls, and he's like, what do they eat? And she's like, I don't know, chocolate. And so it's like the next day, and he like has chocolate bars.
Yeah, so he tries to feed him chocolate.
And they eat it, but, not really.
They're not satisfied with the chocolate, okay?
And then he steals money and starts going to like the butcher and just buying as much like cheap cuts of meat as possible.
Right.
And then he keeps going there, buying more, throwing it, and eventually no more money.
Right, so then we get a montage of him trying to figure out how to procure more meat because he tries to steal a pork leg.
Yeah, and like someone sees him, and then the next scene is like him trying to pull a cow and telling the cow like, listen, like someone's gonna turn you into steak. Like, trust me, this is better.
At least he appreciates animals because he's like, oh, I didn't want to hurt you anyway.
It's like, oh, I can't do this.
And then he tries to catch a bunch of chickens.
Doesn't work.
And he can't do it. He gets super frustrated. And then he goes to Teddy. He's like, nothing's working. I don't know what to do. And the Teddy's like, you know what you have to do.
And he's like, yes.
But only mean people.
So there's the fucking girl who's been mean to him. Oh, I fucking forgot about this. There's a scene where he makes like a voice recording and calls the librarian woman.
Oh god, yeah, this is fucking weird.
And tells her that the fucking bratty fucking kid has been kidnapped, and he's like, I'm gonna hurt her unless you do this for me. And
unless you show me your body.
I want to see you.
Yes.
That's all he says. I want to see you.
So the kid, like, while the recording's going on, goes up to, like, the window.
And is waiting, and she's, like, exercising, and she, like, takes her, like, fucking thing off, flashes her boobs, and he takes a bunch of pictures.
And the kid comes in, and she's like, I'm gonna kill you, or whatever.
Yeah, and we kind of see where that goes.
Yeah.
But after this, yeah, when he's, like, he figures out what he has to do to feed the fucking troll walls. So the girl, like, because the first time we see her, he's, like, looking at her bike, and she just fucking yells at him and calls him a funny person.
Well, okay, so this, that's unfair of me to make fun of a little kid, but, like, she has the worst fucking insults for this
What was
our
the other thing
dude.
she called him?
A funny person, and then she calls him,
A clumsy brat or something?
yeah, clumsy brat?
Something like that.
Yeah, something really stupid
Where you
that you
just
would
take, like,
never...
Just take two childish words and just combine
Something
them.
you would never call someone as an insult because you'd probably get made fun of yourself.
No, she calls him a funny person, tells him he can't ride her bicycle, and then then there's a scene where she's like, "Hey, ride my bicycle,"
And he's like, okay, and then it falls apart because she didn't put it together correctly
and
for
he
him.
falls on his ass, and she yells at him, calls him a clumsy person,
Yes.
and then he comes up to her and is like, "Hey, there's a bike trail that no one else knows about, and I don't think you're good enough to ride it."
Yeah. Kind of eggs her on.
And then she goes, and of course we know what's happening. They go in the fucking woods. He, like, knocks her off the bike
Mm-hmm.
and rides it away past the giant hole in the ground. Mind you, the whole time this scene is happening, they're doing, like, comedy music. Like, they're doing straight up fucking comedy music. And he rides there and waits, and she just is, like, running after him, like, "Give me back my bike." And then she just walks straight and falls in the fucking hole.
Yep. And there's also this, like,
And
older...
then he says something like, he has, like, a one-liner, and then it does, like, the dun 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 dun, and then
Dun, 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 ding! And then, like, we start the murder montage.
yeah, and then the next scene
While
is
set to this, like, classical sitcom, like
Happy-
orchestral
yeah.
music.
happy-go-lucky music.
Like,
So
I do not understand the choice of music. Like, this composer, like, chose the absolute worst tone. Maybe that's what they were going for.
they have to,
Like, a murder
dude,
sitcom.
this scene is like this whole montage.
Like, fucking Leave It to Beaver to
Yeah.
murder a bunch of people in a town.
No, this whole scene is like a comedy. I'm not joking. Like,
Like,
because
Dennis the Menace takes it too far. It's
Seriously.
Like
that's what it is. This whole scene's a fucking comedy.
Dennis the Pervy Menace takes it too far, the movie.
Because there's like this old woman who, like, said some shit about him and how, like, he's gonna grow up to be no good.
Well, she's just like a crotchety old woman. She actually doesn't do... She's, like, blind and in a wheelchair. She doesn't actually do
No.
anything to hurt him.
We only see her once, and she basically, like, kind of says, like, he'll grow up to be, like, a no good brat and all this stuff. And he like comes up to her and is like, like, "Thank you so much for what you said to me. Like, you're right. Like, I really need to be better and all this stuff." And then he takes her fucking, like, odd, like, motorized wheelchair and then starts, like, riding it, and she's, like, screaming.
She's all freaking out.
We
and
get
then-
this shot. This is how you know it's a fucking comedy. Like, you get this shot, it's, like, far away, and it's just him pushing her, like, through a fucking field, and it's just her, like, flailing her arms. It looks like something out of, like, a Benny Hill sketch
Yeah, and then
or Monty Python.
She, like, he yeets her into the hole and starts, like, whoa, on her, like, wheelchair. Just
And they
like,
do the fuck- yeah.
whoa, dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee.
And then they do that again, and then there's a fucking scene where it's him with the
He's
fucking
playing football with the dude.
the quote-unquote boyfriend, and they're playing football, and then they're like, they go in the fucking clearing with the hole, and he's like, "Go along," and then throws it, and the guy falls in the fucking hole, and then do. And then he's like, oh, and then, oh boy, so some editor or some fucking producer made a choice, because the way the movie starts with a party, and we see a kid at the party, and it's our main kid, and he's like dressed as a ghost, and he walks up to a guy and is like, I got something to show you.
Well, like he like eggs him on. He's like, I'm gonna like here. I got something to show you. He's like, you better be worth it.
And then we get like a quick scene of like that kid like coming up to this guy and being like at like a playground and being like,
it's weird.
"Can I join your group?" And then he just punches him.
Can I join your club? Is what he says.
Yeah.
Like, what?
And he just punches him. And then the girl's like, ha, 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 ha. And then back to the party. And then he takes him into the fucking woods where he says there's a bag of jewelry. And then he just yeets him into the pit. And then we just see the title, The Pit. Like, that's how the movie opens, right?
Well, that's weird because they show this exact same scene.
And then we have to watch.
Shot for shot, except for the flashback.
We have to watch the same fucking scene.
Because you see the flashback happen in the actual context of the movie.
We see it in normal time after that intro.
Yeah. But now it's just taken out of this scene, and now we just get the scene again.
Now we just get him egging this dude on and then throwing him into the pit.
Same thing happens, and then he chases the girl around, takes off her tutu.
Because she faints, and then he basically tells her, like, you know, like, you're a bully, and I wasn't going to originally do this to you, but you're a bully, and you like laughing at people's misery. Bye.
And you're always going to laugh at people's misery.
So you deserve each other. Bye.
Deserve to die, like...
Go
in the pit with the trolls.
Fine. But he takes her tutu, which we find out why.
Which is crazy, because apparently the babysitter has another like an actual boyfriend.
Well, it's like a new guy, I guess, because she's still like worried about Dude Bro 1.
Andy or whatever his name was.
But there's another guy, and she's kind of seeing him, and now the fucking kid's angry again.
So the kid, like, he doesn't kill this guy. He just frames him for being like a pedophile and like
because the girl's
like a peeping Tom, basically.
Well, because basically the babysitter is like asking him like, what happened? Like, have you seen Andy? And he's like, the kid's like, I don't know what happened. He's kind of like giggling, like, you know, and then like there's a whole thing where he fucking leads the babysitter out into the woods and shows her the pit. And she sees the fucking pit and thinks they're pigs. Then she sees them like the fucking trollocs staring at her. And she's like, they're troglodytes or I don't fucking know. They're trollocs. And as she's like, we have to like tell people. He's like, no, you can't. They're going to put them in cages. And then she slips and catches on a branch, and he tries to help her, but she falls, and they munch on her.
Well, I love when he's gonna show her, because the famous line, they don't eat chocolate, you know what they eat.
Oh yeah.
Remember, like,
well,
he's all cryptic about it.
Because that's when she's talking about like the missing people.
Yeah.
And she's like, and she's like, you haven't seen Andy? And then he's like, no, not Andy. Not Miss Oliphant. Not Abigail.
They don't eat chocolate.
Not the two kids. She's like, what? She's like, they don't eat chocolate. You know what they eat? She's like, what?
And she's like, I'm sorry for slapping you. She like completely ignores the fact
smacks
that
him.
he just like confessed to killing all these people.
Well, she's just like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, all she knows about is Andy's missing. She doesn't know what the flying fuck he's talking about. And then he takes her in the woods, and she falls in the fucking troll hole and dies.
And he's kind of sad, but he's not really sad. And then,
well, he's sad, but then he talks to Teddy, and Teddy's like, well, you tried to rescue her, and, you know, you did your best. Yeah. It's fine.
Because Teddy, like, knows all.
And, you know, she was going to tell everybody about the hole, and we can't have that. And then, like, the cops, fucking Keystone cops, start investigating.
Now,
and
this is where the movie goes into, like, I don't give a fuck area.
This is where they ran out of... This is where the fucking director was like, I don't fucking know.
Also, remind me at the end of this, because we're almost to the end of the movie, remind me, I need to read you some of the trivia, like, live, because it's fucking wild.
Oh, I'm sure.
You think the movie's wild? The fucking trivia for this movie
Oh, I'm sure.
is insane if it's
I'm-
actually true.
I'm sure.
So we're gonna go over that too. Don't worry.
'Cause-
I got some juicy bits for you.
Because essentially, they arrest the fucking... Well, because they're like, the babysitter's missing, and the cops are talking to the kid, and he's like talking about like, yeah, it was a guy in a mustache, kind of older. He had a yellow or green car, and of course they find him,
They frame the boyfriend.
and he sticks the tutu in his car. He sticks the photos of the naked fucking
so
woman
he pins every single
and
murder
a
on
tape
him.
recorder, everything.
Yeah.
Pins it all on him, and then goes to the fucking pit and is like, well, I don't have any more fucking people for you.
Well, all right, cool. All
all the bad people are dead.
He's basically like, listen, I don't want to fucking do this anymore. So he just makes a giant rope and throws it down. He just gives up. He's just like, you know what? You're right. I can't do this for you anymore. Be free.
Well, he says, like, listen, everyone else is fine. I can't justify killing anybody else. You have to get your own food. And throws a rope down there and walks away. And then they climb up the rope, and then the fucking movie just falls to fucking shit.
Dude.
Because, like, they come out, and then it's just, like, we get, like, scenes of, like, the cops investigating, like, just piles of raw meat in the woods. And fucking, like,
Dude.
monster vision. And there's,
We
like...
get, like, the monsters attacking random people
Well,
because
there's,
they're
like-
out.
There's like a couple swimming in like a quarry, which I swear to God, like, did they film this in the same fucking place as Incubus? Because that also had a fucking quarry. That's also fucking Canadian.
Well, they were like, what, skinny dipping or whatever?
She offered him to skinny dip.
Yes.
And the guy was like, nah, fuck it. And then, but we get monster vision, and then we get a cop who finds like a pile of raw meat, like a raw steak in the woods.
Well, yeah, because you see the people doing shit, and then you see monster vision, and they're just dead. Like,
then-
like they're just like, one of them they find just like a woman like on the fucking like on a trail, just like
She's like in a cornfield, and the guy's like, I saw some fucking orangutans there. And then a cop is on a walkie-talkie and hears this fucking roar. And then it keeps cutting back to the fucking couple in the quarry.
Oh
And then the
my
woman
God, dude.
goes in the bushes, takes off her top, so we see boobers for like 2 seconds. And then a fucking ape man, like, yeets her. And then the guy, like, hears screaming.
Again, I have to reiterate, like the trivia. It makes the skinny dipping scene where you see her movers. Dude, you have no fucking idea. It's fucking weird.
Dude, the whole movie's weird.
Okay, so anyway,
But the guy, like, hears her screaming, and then walks to where she was and sees an ape man carrying her away, and then an ape man, like, yeets him, and then, like, we literally get, like, a bunch of Canadian uncles in the woods.
and they all grab shotguns.
They all have guns, and they're like, okay,
They form like
you see something?
like a hunting line.
They're like, you see something, kill him.
And they go in the fucking
I don't
woods.
care what it's about.
No,
Kill him.
Okay, so this is the scene that I legitimately have no fucking idea what the fuck they were doing. Like, I don't. They obviously had no fucking idea how to
end this
fucking
shit.
end this shit. So they were just
Yeah.
like, okay, what we're gonna have to do? We're gonna have the fucking Trolologs like just climb back in there.
No, well, we get the Canadian uncles walking through the woods in a straight line.
Well, like I love
a
it
straight line.
because they just have the Trolologs climb back in their hole and
They like parkour back in the hole, Will. Remember? They're like, oh.
and they just fucking accept their fate. Like,
Well, they walk back in the hole, and immediately the uncles are at the hole, and I'm like, what?
and they all like cock their shotguns
And they all just circle the hole, and the troll logs are just like staring up, like, what's up?
What's up, dudes? Hey,
And
how's
the
it
guys,
going?
and then they're just
They're
like,
just like
yeah, and they
they
just
just
shoot
start
him.
getting blasted. The Trollolog just like really did just be like, okay, we're gonna climb back in the hole and accept our fate.
Why? Why? They just get blasted. And the fucking
I
uncles.
don't know. I mean, honestly, like, why did the Trolologs? They're like free killing people. No one's fucking giving them a hard time, and they're just like, "Yep, let's go back in the hole and die."
I just love the.
It was like me all of 2020. I just wanted to crawl in a hole and get blasted by a bunch of Canadian uncles.
We can all relate to this feeling, Will.
Sometimes, you know what? I understand them more. Sometimes it be like that. Sometimes you just want to fucking
get in your hidey
get
hole.
shotgun blasted by a bunch of Canadian uncles.
I understand.
I get it. You know what? I get. You know what, Trolologs? I get it.
I don't get it. I don't understand.
No,
like,
I don't understand.
I sat through an hour and a half, and like, what the? This is what you paid to fucking do to me? What the fuck was that?
It's like they're just like
Like they like
it's like they wrote up to the part where the girl dies, and then at the end of the script they're just like end movie ?
They were like, no, the guy wrote like, "We'll finish later."
Yeah, or like get a hunting line. We'll finish later.
And then they just made it up because like it gets like so they kill them, and I'm like really? Is that what? And then the next scene is a fucking tractor.
They just bury the hole.
Burying the hole, and a guy talking to his wife on a walkie-talkie, being like, "Yeah, it was just dogs. We're just gonna bury it. Not gonna make a big deal out of it. Just bury it." That and end scene.
Like, why?
It's the Bluesmobile.
Yeah.
They get to the Daily Plaza at the end of the fucking Blues Brothers, and the car just and that's the fucking movie. Like, you're fucking, I'm there, I'm into it, and then they get to the fucking thing, and then they shoot him in the hole, and the guy's like, it's just dogs, no big deal, bye.
Honestly, it like almost ruined the entire like experience for me, just because you can tell they didn't fucking care to even write an ending.
Yeah, like, what the fuck?
The fucking truck, the fucking things just crawl back in their hole, accept their fate, get buried, and it's just dogs.
Well, it's fine.
Like, there's no consequence.
There's nothing. And then, you know, the movie still keeps going, and I'm like, oh, is there, like, what's next? And then the fucking kiddo gets dropped off at his grandpappy's place.
Yeah, because his parents are like, fuck this kid.
This town's going to shit. Like, all these 20 people died from dogs. And then...
Or orangutans.
at a man who was framed to be a pedophile. And... then he gets dropped off there, and they're like, "Hey, like that girl, like you should play with that girl." And there's a girl,
and she's like, "We're basically like
second cousins."
And
he's like, "Yeah, I guess." And she's like,
"I gotta show you something.
Come play with me." And they go in like a cornfield, and
you can probably already guess where the fuck this is going. Like, it's pretty fucking. I mean, once they got there, I knew immediately what the fuck was going on.
Because they get to this clearing, and there's a hole, and she's standing there and smiling.
Once they saw the hole, I was like, I know what the fuck is gonna happen.
And then the kid's like, and she's like, I found this. What does the kid say?
He's like, those are Trolologs. You have to feed them meat.
And she's like, I know.
And then fucking just yeets the kid into the fucking pit.
And then it freeze frames on him falling, and then the credits roll.
God damn it. The ending is so bad. It's such a fucking trash ending.
What the fuck?
Like the movie, I loved how weird it was until the ending, and I was just like, this is fucking dumb.
I was into it until the babysitter dies, and then the movie just... fucking took my balls and squeezed them.
It just gets derailed. It's like chugging along, and then all of a sudden just like just like massive destruction.
Like the whole movie, I'm just like sitting there, and it's stroking my dick. It's fine. And then, you know, it gets to that point, and then it just fucking
smashes your fucking balls.
And it just crushes my balls, spits in my face, and kicks me in the dick. Like, that's how I felt. Like, I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. I really don't. I have no idea what the fuck. Like, they drank that good maple syrup, baby.
Oh, God, yeah.
That's what happened.
It was some fucking good, too good, I think.
I just don't understand.
Like, you could have had a strong ending. You could have ended it any way, but this is the way they chose to end it.
Because it's like, I get it. Like, I get it. I get what they're doing. It's a fucking story. You could take this however you want it. It's a movie about puberty. It's a movie about fucking being bullied.
There's like some drama. There's a lot of drama. There's a lot of undertones here. There's
lots of like things you can do.
There's a lot of things going on in this movie that like you could easily end it in several different ways, and they just chose to forget all of that. They just chose to like dump all of that shit that they built up for an entire movie, and we're just like, yeah, we're just gonna have a bunch of old dudes blast them in a pit.
We're just gonna have the Trollolls climb out of the pit and have some really awkward scenes of people getting like hugged.
And then once they're satisfied, they crawl back in the pit and just accept that a bunch of fucking dudes are gonna shotgun blast them.
And then they bury the hole and it's just dogs.
Yeah. And I now don't get me wrong, I don't mind the gotcha ending. Like, that's fine.
The ending, if you had like
the ending,
if you fixed
everything else,
I would be fine with the ending.
Yeah, it's fine. It's like it's a little twist. Like there's more Trollocs or whatever, and there's more pits and everything.
Oh, hey, it's another it's another girl.
It's fine.
Who's going? It's a girl who's also weird and going through puberty.
That part makes sense.
It's fine.
Okay, that part makes sense. The entire like 10 minutes before that
was trash.
Was fucking awful, and it kind of ruined the movie for me.
It's fucking bullshit.
Like, I don't get it. I don't understand. They had something really good here, and they just fucking squandered it. They're just like, fuck it. Like,
you should read that trivia.
Okay. This is like, it kind of ruins the movie more. So I just want to warn you a little bit.
Okay.
It kind of makes me sad that they didn't go with some of these options, but some of them are just fucking weird. Like this first one. So, I gotta get ready for this shit. It's fucking weird. Because this first one is like the weirdest one. I'm not even gonna lie. Because you can tell me if I'm reading this wrong, but I want to... Here. Okay. Sorry, I'll just read it. The director's wife refused to let him shoot the nude scenes, so the screenwriter shot them instead. The only shot involving nudity... that the director was allowed to film was the skinny dipping scene, and only because the actress was his daughter.
What? What?
That is fucking creepy as shit.
I mean, that's a choice.
You're only allowed to film nude scenes if it's your own daughter?
Why? Why is she even in the movie?
Why is he only allowed to film his nude daughter? That's fucking weird.
Why?
Like, that's fucking really weird. Like, maybe I'm like reading that wrong, but like, that sounds really fucking like creepy.
Because someone who worked on this movie confirm if that's the fucking
can you
case.
Please, like, I hope that's not true. I hope that is just some made up trivia. I hope that's not true.
It's too weird. It can't be made up.
Now, I don't know where all this trivia comes from, so I don't know if this is accurate. So I'm sorry if I'm giving it.
It probably is
inaccurate.
Honestly,
it might be accurate, but. So, the original this actually sounds true, too. So, the original screenplay differed greatly from the final draft. According to screenwriter Ian Stewart, besides being a much darker and more serious movie, the Trogs were supposed to be entirely in the mind of Jamie. Now, I thought this is what
would make sense.
Where they're going to go in the whole movie. Like, there was nothing at the bottom of the pit. And
it's just him.
He was just killing these people because Teddy told him to.
Yeah.
Like, that would make sense to me. That would be a good way to end this movie, okay?
That would be a good way to do it, yeah.
That would be a good way to end this movie. It's all in his head. He's just kind of, like, fucked up.
Yeah.
So, these changes were supposedly made by the director, Lou Lemon, who was only allowed to film his nude daughter. What a fucking creep. So
what a fucking mong.
So Lou Lemon, you fucking ruined this movie.
We'll call him Lou Lemon.
Lou Lemon.
No, Lou Lemon saw the script and was like, I don't get it.
I don't want to fucking do that ending. We're going to fucking do a really retarded ending.
He was like, I don't get it.
Oh, sorry, not...
What do you mean they're not real? I don't get it.
Oh my God.
And the guy's like, well, it's like cerebral. Like, no, there should be a scene where they fucking get out of the hole and attack my new daughter.
Also, sorry, I just spewed the R word. I apologize.
We're being It's like
I'm
a
sorry.
period.
The beer hit me a little bit hard, so I'm sorry I did the hard R.
We've gone back to 81.
Yep.
It's fine.
So
It's a period piece.
the original screenplay was novelized by author John Galt under the title Teddy, and written as a much darker, more serious horror story.
So probably like the actual script.
Yes. So Sammy Snyder's was the
Was he the kid?
yes. Okay, so sorry, let me get back to I don't know what is my life. So Sammy Snyder's was 14 years old at the time this film was shot. Moreover, Snyder's would go out dancing at a disco bar in Beaver Dam. That's just stupid trivia, but
Good for him.
the original Trog costumes were deemed non-realistic enough, so new costumes were created in Los Angeles, and the interior pit scenes were shot on a soundstage in Toronto.
I want to see those original costumes.
Yep.
I'm just fucking curious. How could they not be realistic?
About 50 locals of Beaver Dam, Wisconsin, worked on this movie as crew members.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure they had a ball.
And then our biggest one that I don't know if this is I don't know the accuracy of this because it's fucking it's out there. It has been suggested that George Lucas took inspiration for the design of the Ewok characters in Return of the Jedi
Bold.
from the pit
Okay.
monster Trogs in this film.
Bold.
Bold.
Bold statement.
That is bold.
Not as bold as fucking having a movie that makes sense and then just being like, nah, fuck it.
Yeah, like what the fuck? The director, oh my god.
I mean, look, I will say this: the movie's not badly directed until you get to that fucking shit pile ending thing, and then you just fucking give up,
Yep.
like the Trogs, like the Trollols give up.
Yeah, the Trollos just like accept their fate. They're just like
Yeah.
they just crawl back in their pit and they're like, this is where I belong. Send me to heaven.
And then they,
And then the fucking old
the fucking uncles
the
kill
old
them.
uncles send them to God. Send them to Jesus.
Trog Jesus?
Bye bye
I-
Trogs.
I don't know what.
I don't know what else to say, dude. Like, that is the fucking... Like, I hate movies that do that, where it's, like, really good, and then all of a sudden, just the ending is just like, what the fuck are you doing? Why is this happening? What the fuck is going on? And
Yeah,
then just
seriously.
fucking ends, like, it ends, and it kind of ruins the whole movie.
Like, I'm not even joking. If
Game of Thrones, the fucking whole thing.
if somebody took the movie and like with Windows Movie Maker, you cut out the whole portion from him dropping the rope in the hole to when he meets the girl. If you cut out that whole portion, and if you just the movie just goes from him dropping the rope to fucking going to his grandparents and meeting the girl and getting thrown down the hole, if you just had the movie like that, it would be better.
Or,
Like, you could do that right now.
here's even more bold. Just cut it when the girl dies. When the babysitter dies.
But that's like an hour and 10-minute movie.
I know.
And it's
but
too much of a
it's-
fucking, like, okay,
it's
is that
better
it?
than one that we fucking got.
We need the fucking gotcha.
Okay, well,
'Cause that would just be like, okay, is that it? Like, but at that point, it's like, he just fucking goes away. And he meets another psycho girl who also has her own pit and dumps him in the pit. End. We don't need the fucking things getting out of the hole and going troll all over Beaver Dam.
they
Like,
did troll. They trolled us.
they troll us.
They're the trolls, and we're the.
Lululemon trolled us.
Dude, Lululemon, why'd you have to ruin this movie?
Why?
I was having a good time. I was enjoying myself.
Why'd you do this to me?
And then all of a sudden, you just fucked us. You just didn't even spit on it before you stuck it in. You just fucked the whole movie up. You just came in with your big dick swinging and just fucking fucked it up.
You fucking mong. You just did.
You're the trog here. Okay? Like, you're the fucking trog.
You should have just left the script alone, bro. It's not.
Just leave it as is. I would have been interested to see like a much darker tone too, like just to see what that kind of movie. I liked it as is.
Because the thing is, I like the tone, but
I did like it. I thought it like made like for an interesting experience, but I would have liked to see a cut where they did do a darker tone because it would have been interesting to explore that. Like just a kid who's had like no one really likes him. He's kind of a loner, and he is so like in that mindset that he feels like he has to kill people to feed these invisible monsters that no one else can see.
yeah, and they don't exist.
And then at the end, you realize they don't exist. I think that'd be like a much darker way to take it, but I think it would have been interesting to see that vision.
Oh yeah, it would have been interesting.
And I kind of want to read the novelization now just to see
what it is,
because the writer obviously went in that direction. So like, I want to see what could have been, and an actually good ending probably. I bet you dollars to donuts that fucking book has a like anything is better than what we got.
Anything is better than what I had to sit through, dude.
Like, it just ruined it. I hate it because it was like 9 out of 10 for me, right? Like before.
Yeah, same. I was like, this is like a 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. It's gonna
maybe
be
the
great.
ending will push it to a 10 out of 10.
No,
it
actually dropped the score for me.
Speaking of score,
it nuked the score.
What would you give this?
Like I said, it kind of nuked the score because now I know what it all leads up to.
Yeah.
Honestly, this might be a little harsh. I think honestly, because the ending is so atrociously bad, it's probably a 4 for me. Just because it ruined the whole movie for me. It took the entire good experience I had and just fucking dumped it in the toilet. I felt like those trogs that were getting back in their hole and just getting fucking shotgun blasted in the face. I felt that. That was us. That was the movie goers in this experience. Just crawling back into your hole, accepting your fate, and getting shotgun blasted into oblivion.
I would give it a 5. But yeah, same thing. It was like a fucking 9 out of 10 to 5.
Yeah, it fucking like for me it dropped it like 5 fucking points, and that was like
because if it like I'm not joking, if it ended with them burying them in the fucking hole and just the guy being like, it's no big deal, it's just dogs, nothing, and then roll credits, I probably would have given like a 3 or a 4 just because I would have been that like annoyed. But as it stands, like, yeah, it's a 5. I mean, I'm sure there's someone out there who will watch that ending and will be like, this is great. This is a fun cult film.
it just didn't work for me.
But for me, that ending is absolute troglodyte bullshit.
Like it didn't hold water. Like it couldn't hold the rest of the movie up, and an ending's supposed to like hold the movie
like
up.
compare this fecal matter of a fucking ending to our last movie.
Yeah, a movie called The Boogans.
Yeah.
The fucking Boogans.
Compare this fecal matter ending to that. And just, like, the difference is just fucking, like, okay, the monsters are real. Our fucking Lululemon was too much of a mongoloid to shoot, like, a cerebral ending.
Yeah, but...
So, fine.
Yeah, okay.
But is this is what we had? This?
No, like, explosion, just a bunch of an old dude circle jerk against 2 fucking monsters in a pit.
And then that's it.
it's just so limp dick.
I know, like there's no
There's no like, oh my god, this is amazing.
there's
like,
no excitement.
no, there's nothing. It's just a bunch of old dudes walking through a forest and they blast the monsters in a
Yeah,
hole.
there's no energy. There's no like even when they're like quote unquote attacking people, which we only see them quote unquote attack two people on camera. It's just like limp.
It's just it didn't do it for me.
Again, compare like that attack scene to like the end of the Boogans when they start munching on the fucking people. Like, it's not
It's so much better.
like
Like the Boogans is so much better.
the movies need excitement.
Yes.
I need to feel something.
I need exciting endings too. Like, I mean, come on.
I know,
the
like
ending should be the most exciting. Like that should be the climax of the film. It should be like, this is what it all leads up to, and then we're gonna have like one banger of a fucking ending.
yeah,
But it's like, nah, we're not gonna have anything.
it's just we get off screen deaths, and then two people getting hugged, and then they get shot by grandpas, and then
In some, like, for some weird fucking reason. It doesn't even explain why they go back in the fucking pit.
literally
Like,
they,
why?
they have their fill.
Like, why?
They're running through the woods. Like we see them running away from the uncles walking in a straight line. And
You
then
can tell we're very upset by
their
this
decision is that they're running away. Like, oh shit, we gotta run. Let's go back in the hole. And then immediately after they're back in the hole, the uncles surround the hole and shoot them. And then, yeah.
Like, what if, like, at the end you had, I don't know, like,
The whole town being attacked. And we saw it on camera.
or if you're gonna go with the cerebral ending, have, like, for the fucking kid in the hole with, like, an axe or something.
That's an ending.
Yeah. Like,
Where-
like you think it's all monsters and they're getting fucking murdered and, like, these guys think it's actual monsters running around and then it's just the fucking kid in the pit.
Yeah. Like
It's, like, covered in blood.
Like he throws the rope down there and then leaves, and then it's like people find there's just cops finding like bodies mangled all over town.
Yeah.
And they walk, and it's the fucking kid in the pit with like a fucking axe and, like
maybe he says something like, I told you they were real or something
Yeah.
like that. And it's just him in the fucking pit, like, covered in blood.
and they end the movie.
Dude, like,
That's a better
see,
ending.
we just literally just spoke a better ending.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even have to think about that.
You don't even have to think about it. That's how stupid the ending we got is. It's like anything would be better. Anything. Anything.
Like you said, just supercut all that fucking bullshit out and just have her eating the fucking kid into
Like even that is like it's not the most satisfying, but it doesn't.
It doesn't dick you around.
Yeah, it's like whatever. It's another girl who's going through puberty, and she has her own metaphorical or real hole. That's fine. I get it. I get it. But no, it's an actual hole.
Yep.
It's an actual hole with trolls who, you know, climb out and then get shot, and there's actual monsters and then.
I'm just done.
Yeah.
Like, you had
Thanks.
so much potential and you fucked it up.
Thanks for ruining it.
You fucked it up.
You fucked it up because you
just-
just couldn't.
And I'm not happy.
You couldn't make.
If you couldn't tell, I'm not happy.
No.
So that's it.
That's it.
This is for They Mostly Come Out at Night. This has been Will.
This has been Alex.
I'll talk to you all later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.